Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a little language arts mini lesson. It will consist of me reading you all a really awesome book and then you all doing a short activity after. So the goal of today is to work on a reading comprehension skill where we take a character from a text and we think of traits that character has. So when I think of traits, I think of adjectives I would use to describe this person. The way they look, the way they act, and the things they do. So I have a super good book for you all, so go ahead and get cozy, get your listening ears on, and if you haven't heard the story of the Three Little Pigs, the original story, go ahead, look that up. You can pause me, look that video up, or if you have the book, go ahead and read it. Refresh your mind, and when you're ready, come back and join me. So the story of the original Three Little Pigs has a character who's not so nice called the Big Bad Wolf. Well, I stumbled across, it's written by the wolf, the true story of the Three Little Pigs. So I found this book and he kind of tells his perspective on what happened in the event. He basically says if he's not the big bad wolf, everybody thinks he is. So whatever you think now, go ahead and keep that in the back of your mind, what you think of the wolf. We'll read this story and see if anything changes. So there's nothing you need to do while we're reading. If you want to jot down notes, go ahead and do so. But other than that, just relax, listen to the words, look at the pictures, and then we'll do our fun activity. The true story of the Three Little Pigs. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret, because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, but you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies, sheep, and pig. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. So the wolf is saying this all started with a sneeze and a cup of sugar. Take a second and think, where is he going with this? What's going on? Make a little prediction what you think is going to happen. Way back and once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't just want to walk into somebody else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. So how did the wolf blow the house down? By a sneeze, or do you think it was on purpose? He says it was a sneeze. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the sticks house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but it was a great sneeze. You're not gonna believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. Just when the dust was cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family because he had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole stack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my sweet, dear old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on again. I huffed and I snuffed and sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. So that third little pig might not be being so nice right now. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down the pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the whole story with all that huff and puff and I'll blow your house down stuff. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. So that is the story, the true story of the three little pigs. Now, before we go into our activity, I just want you to think, do you believe this wolf? Do you think he's telling the truth that this was all because of a sneeze and a cup of sugar? Or do you believe the original three pigs story that this wolf was just really hungry and nothing was gonna stop him, not even a door on the house? So go ahead and just think about that. And then when you're ready, go ahead and grab a pencil or a pencil on a sheet of paper. You can pause the video, and then when you're ready, you can come back and I'll show you what you're gonna do. So something that is super fun that I've done with students before, is called a character report card. So what a character report card is, kind of just like a teacher might make you a report card. You basically, there's certain categories, you get a certain score on it, you might get A's or B's or a certain number, and there's usually a spot for comments. Well, today, we're gonna be making a character report card for the big bad wolf. I'll show this to you again in a second, but basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna think about the character. You can either think of the big bad wolf or you can think of the innocent framed wolf. Whatever you want, but try to pick one side of the story versus the other. And if you need to rewind this video and watch it again and watch the original story of Three Pigs, go ahead and do that. So what you're gonna do, and I'll show you all, you have the character report card. The name at the top, go ahead and put the wolf, and then it says the title of the book. You can either use, like I said, our book that we just read, or if you have another version you like, or if you want to use the original story, feel free to do that. And what you'll see here is we have a bunch of different categories: friendship, intelligence, courage, kindness, and honesty. So what you're gonna do If you want, you can just copy this down and make it your own. It doesn't have to look exactly like this, just something similar. But basically what you're gonna do is you would start with the first character trait. I went ahead and gave you some traits. You feel free to add more. So for the first one, friendship. On a scale out of 1, 2, and 3, you're gonna rate him, with 1 being low, so not a friendly person. A 2 being, maybe, I might need more information. And a 3 being, oh yeah, super friendly. And then right here, you're gonna provide a reason or an example. So if you're saying he's friendly, why are you gonna say that? If you're saying he's not friendly, what proof do you have? So this would be like you're giving it to the big bad wolf or the innocent wolf's parents. You wanna have a rating for each and an example, because it's not really fair to say he's mean and then not say why. So this is your character report card that you're gonna fill out using the story we just read. I hope you all really enjoyed today's book and then really enjoy this activity. Once again, the goal of this lesson was to kind of think about a character and the traits and using textual evidence to support your answer. Thank you and join again for next time.